What is up, fam? Agent O here with another Thrant. And this Thrant I've entitled Games, Gamers, What the Fuck? Basically, what brought along this Thrant is that the other day, actually yesterday, I was on Kotaku and I happened to come across a video game trailer for the game Hatred. It was an article, they were talking about the game and about, there's some controversy surrounding the game because it was greenlit on Steam's website with a really high approval rating from from other gamers or whatever, and Steam pulled it and didn't really say why they pulled it. But if you look at the trailer, it's pretty much explanatory as to why they pulled the game. It's an ultra violent mass shooter simulator essentially, and that's just judging from the trailer. I have not played the game, so nor do I intend to. But basically, the premise of the game is you're this guy who looks a lot like Nathan Explosion from Death Clock from the Metalocalypse cartoon. William Street should probably be getting paid royalties because he looks a lot like that character. But anyway, he's tired of the world. He's tired of living. He's angry at the way the world is, and he wants to die. But he's going to take out as many people as he can on his way out. So you see him during his little manifesto. He's, loading up his AK. He's got a pistol. He's got extra clips, and he keeps putting them in his jacket, which must have an endless pocket in there because he's just stuffing, frag grenades and extra clips. And he picks up a bayonet, looks at it, and sticks that in his pocket. And then he kicks the door down and just starts mowing people down before he even leaves his fucking front yard. And then the rest of the trailer is just gameplay footage of him running around down the streets and playgrounds, just killing anybody he sees. There's even a shot of him in the police station killing, cops and whoever else is in there. And that's essentially the trailer. So judging from that, I'm just going to say that's probably what you're going to be doing during the entire game. I don't really see it. The trailer didn't show me anything else gameplay wise or any other narrative whatsoever other than go forth and kill. And so I can understand why Steam pulled the game off their shelf, or off the digital shelf I should say, because of you've got all this controversy right now with Grand Theft Auto 5 getting pulled off of store shelves in Australia, and it might be a knee-jerk reaction on Valve's part, so that they don't feel the heat of what's going on with Target and Kmart and all those other stores over there in Australia. They probably don't want to see any of that shit happen to them. So I can understand why they pulled the game. Plus, honestly, I don't think it's very much of a game. Me personally, it's one aspect it's one gameplay element that you could do in Grand Theft Auto, that somebody decided to say, hey, people like doing this in GTA. Why don't we just make a game where that's all you do? That, to me, that seems to be the thought process of this developer team that's done this game. And I think it's kind of lame. I think it's pretty lame, and it's too bad that most people we're actually looking forward to playing this video game. I think this type of game speaks to that lowest common denominator of gamers that turn on a video game just to do violent shit, and that's their idea of fun. I mean, and if that's your idea of fun, I mean, more power to you. Go forth and do whatever it is you want to do. That's what games are for, is to play them and have fun. It's not my cup of tea, but I think gaming and I think game developers are a lot better than that. I think games can be a lot better than that. And as far as the pulling of the game from Valve, I guess a lot of people are crying foul because they have games like Postal and Manhunt on their site, available to buy and play. And so a lot of people are saying they're hypocrites for doing that and that they're censoring free speech. I've never played Postal or Manhunt, so I can't really speak on those games. But I have played Grand Theft Auto. I've played the first Grand Theft Auto way back in the day. I've played Grand Theft Auto 3, I've played San Andreas, and I've played Grand Theft Auto 5. So I know my way around GTA. And a lot of people are trying to say that, well, GTA has, GTA 5 is going to be on Steam, and you have Trevor who's certifiably insane and crazy, and he's done way worse stuff in the game than what this guy was doing in the trailer. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. He has done that, but there's a reasoning behind most of what he's doing. Well, I won't even go into that. You have choices in this game because you don't have to, aside from the story elements of GTA 5, when you play that, when the controller, when the character's actually fully in your control, and you're not doing a scripted story portion of the game, you're free to play that game however you want. So if you want to run around and act crazy like Trevor, if you want to become Trevor, you can. You can run around and kill people and act a fool and get chased by the cops and whatnot and just be buck wild. The choice is yours. But you can also not do that. GTA gives you that choice to not have to mess with, the NPCs and just do the game, complete the objectives of the game and, to progress the story. And that's one of the things that I feel sets GTA 5 apart from Hatred is the fact that is the fact that you have the choice. The other thing is the fact that there's consequences for your actions. If you start killing people, if you start robbing, if you start being violent, the police get called and they come and handle you. That can be a deterrent for some people because maybe they're trying to do something in the game and they don't want to get the police on their tail, so they don't want to act crazy or go too overboard because that's going to lead them into trouble. But with this game Hatred, it doesn't seem like you have any other choice but to go forth and kill people in order to progress the game. Like, that's it. Because that's all that this game is. So, to me, that's a huge difference between when it comes to comparing those two games. And, they both allow you to do the same thing, but one game isn't confined by that. Hatred is, GTA is not confined by that. So to me, that's a huge difference. And I was watching Boogie 3988 or whatever his name is, the guy who does that Francis character that I can't stand. He did a video and he was talking about, the crux of his video was about freedom of speech and how messed up it is, and that Valve didn't support it in this sense with this game Hatred, even though he doesn't like the game either and he's not gonna play it. He at least is in defense of freedom of speech for this game, and I agree with him, but I disagree with him at the same time. Freedom of speech, it's not a blank check for you to just run around and say whatever you want. I could go out on the street right now and just scream obscenities, as loud as I can, because that is my freedom of speech. That's a right given to me as a citizen of the United States. But that doesn't necessarily mean I should, just because you can create a game that allows you to just wantonly kill people, as much as you want to your heart's content, doesn't necessarily mean you should make that game. If you're going to use freedom of speech, at least use freedom of speech to actually say something. I think that is more important than just being able to say whatever you want. They could have easily, I think this game in a sense actually belittles the people that engage in this kind of behavior in real life. The mass shooters like the guy from Sandy Hook and Columbine and the Virginia Tech shooters. I think it belittles those people, and I think it belittles the peoples that were injured and killed by those shooters. Oh, that goes my phone. I'll explain why. I'm not trying to glorify killers or anything, not in the slightest. I'm totally against that shit. But this game kind of just blanket generalizes those people and doesn't go into what made those people, make those choices in the first place. It doesn't speak to why this sort of thing even happens in our society, more so than in other societies all over the world. Why is this going on so much and so frequently in our country and not in others? These are questions that you could have posed in this game, you know, to kind of shed some more light through the use of video games to tell a relevant story, and to shed more light on this subject. Maybe you could have crafted the game to where you play as both the antagonist and the protagonist. Maybe the protagonist is a cop or a detective or whoever that gets a hold of the mass shooter's manifesto, and using those clues and using the layout, going and investigating this guy to try and find him before he commits another mass shooting, so you can save lives. And through trying to find him, you're going through his life, and you're doing some detective work, to piece together what happened to him, and why he's like this, and why he's going down this path, and hopefully find clues as to like where he's going to be next in order to stop him. And then as the antagonist, you're trying to avoid those cops to complete your objective, and to kill and go out in this blaze of glory. But then at the same time, you're experiencing what this person has gone through this antagonist's eyes, as to like how he ended up where he's at now and doing the things that he's doing now. It like that could have been something that not only has shock value, but it has relevance, and it could have been a way to engage people, to kind of help us shed light on to why these mass shootings are happening, and to kind of shut up all those naysayers, those politicians that keep swinging the banner of video games cause people to be violent. Well, now you have a video game that talks about the violence directly and is trying to make a statement about it. That could have been something, but instead we just get this bare bones shooter, like mass shooter. So I don't know, that's my take on it. I think this could have been something that could have been something great, but instead it's just this generic cry for attention through this developer that's making this game. They want the shock value, they want the bad press, and they want the good press, because bad press to them is good press. And this kind of thing would have worked like in the 90s, when not everybody was doing it back then. But now it's just the whole thing just feels played out and forced. So I don't know. It's people are gonna play it, and by all means, I guess go play it. But I think it's dumb, and I think games and gamers should be better than that. But I did read today that the game got put back on Steam, so I guess hooray. I guess we as gamers won. I don't know. I don't think we won, but that's just me. So that's pretty much going to do it for this Thrant. I'm going to keep it real short and simple. I've gone on way longer than I should have. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm Agent O, and I'm out. Peace.